So I'll give you two angles. First, the Herald, which says that the governing NPP has thrown Supreme Court Justice Emmanuel Yoni Kolendi's integrity onto a grill like a kebab. Over the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Godfrey Dame's witness coaching saga in the ambulance trial involving minority leader Dr. Kesela Tufor and others. The story goes on to say about 3 days ago, Justice Kolendi's reputation became the MPP's place of respite in the case in which Richard Jakpa, the third accused, who is a cousin to the Supreme Court judge, angrily revealed under cross-examination that the Attorney General had been calling him and meeting with him at odd hours to falsely testify against the minority leader to secure a jail term.
Yes. Okay, sure. Okay, so the NDC's angle is that they are calling on the president to take action against the AG over the leaked tape. Julius Yao Petechi is writing that the National Democratic Congress NDC is demanding the immediate resignation of dismissal of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Godfrey Adame over his alleged secret engagements with the third accused in the ambulance case, Richard Jakpa. The opposition party also wants President Akufo-Addo and the General Legal Counsel to institute criminal and disciplinary proceedings against AG respectively, but the custodian says Dame will stay to protect public purse, and this is the NPP to the NDC. Paul Awuni is writing the New Patriotic Party NPP has rubbished the call by the opposition National Democratic Congress NDC on the Attorney General and Minister for Justice Godfrey Adame to resign. The NPP said the current Attorney General has been one of the most successful both in and out of court, receiving plaudits from all well-meaning Ghanaians. This was a response to the NDC's call for his resignation. The details of the press conference are here.
Okay, now the other story is quoting a former director of the Ghana School of Law, who's claiming that this government is the most corrupt in Ghana's history. Kweku Ansansari, a former director of the Ghana School of Law, has described President Akufo-Addo's government as the most corrupt administration in Ghana's history. Now, upon taking office, the administration promised to tackle corruption. However, it has faced significant criticism from stakeholders for failing to meet the expectations of the Ghanaian people with a number of corruption scandals. In an interview on Face to Face, as I said, the Akufo-Addo government is not genuinely committed to the fight against corruption. He says, I do not have the statistics, but watching the political terrain and the various approaches to the fight against corruption, I would say that this is the worst government we have ever had to combat corruption. I have said it before. I granted an interview and I said any government that will come and shout from the rooftop, I'm going to fight corruption, will be the worst in terms of fighting it. That will be the most corrupt government. Akufo-Addo's government is the worst ever, the most corrupt government we have ever seen. And then he spoke about the Office of Special Prosecutor. He did comparisons between the other governments. The full interview is online. You can read it for yourself. Then the other story I wanted to draw your attention to was contractors. So the association or the construction chamber, so let me read the Chamber of Construction Industry. Say there is a growing crisis where financial institutions have begun seizing the assets of its members. These assets were initially used as collateral for loans meant to facilitate the execution of government projects. According to the contractors, the drastic move by the financial institutions is creating a ripple effect throughout the construction sector and the broader economy. Now, they highlighted a staggering debt of 15 billion cedis owed to contractors, saying only a fraction, amounting to 1 billion cedis, had been disbursed by the Ghana Cocoa Board to road contractors, for example. The insufficient payment has forced many contractors to abandon their project sites, leaving numerous government projects unfinished, thereby exacerbating the challenges in the construction sector. Emmanuel Cherry, CEO of the chamber, detailed the severe repercussions of the situation during an interview with Citi News.
Informer carried a similar story with another angle. Contractors threatened government over non-payment, and it says that the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry are beside themselves with uncontrollable rage and anger owing to non-payment of works done, which has brought untold hardships to members. So Emmanuel Cherry, who means no words, says as a result of the non-payment, some contractors have died, some fallen sick, and others have been taken to court by financial institutions from whom they procured loan facilities for various construction works. He gives the same background as was read earlier.
Well, the other story that's also making the rounds has to do with SNIT and this, the hotel matter. The new publisher is saying that it has credible and new information on the sale of shares owned by SNIT in some of its hotels. And they say that the decision, it was a board decision meant to rescue the trust from ever-growing financial burden heaped on it by the said hotels. Now, a former board member of the trust, Mr. Fourier Champon, has revealed that the hotels were incurring huge losses. They were unable to pay dividends, struggled to pay salaries, struggled to pay taxes, and ultimately became a financial burden. And the former board member is insisting that the said hotels were proving to be a huge financial strain on
There's
SNIT.
another story that's claiming that TUC's hypocrisy has been exposed because apparently they were part of the SNIT board and they knew all along.
That's on the front page and page 3 of the Republic Press. And former board member Mr. Fourier Champon, who was on the SNIT board, recently provided clarification on the sale of SNIT shares in its hotels, asserting that the decision was made in the best interest. Now, it says that Mr. Champon, who served on the 13th board of SNIT, highlighted the presence of organized labor representatives on the board, emphasizing their role in the decision-making process. And this raises questions over the sudden change in stance by the leadership of organized labor regarding the sale.
And then there's an article in the Today newspaper on SNIT Hotels fiasco.
Evans Mawunyo Chikata wrote that, so you can grab that.
It says a betrayal of trust for Ghanaian workers. That's the question.
Should I give you highlights?
No, it's okay.
No,
Let's go to Parliament.
One. So we come to Parliament now in the informal newspaper. A 993 million Poalugu project. Parliament calls for probe. Parliament has called for investigations into the Poalugu multipurpose dam project in Talensi in the Upper East region to establish why an amount of $12 million has been sunk into the project, but nothing can be shown for it. President Akufo-Addo in November 2019 cut the sword for the commencement of the project. However, 5 years on, nothing can be shown as far as the project is concerned. Commenting on the matter, NDC's Member of Parliament for Yape Kosol, John Jinapo, pledged the minority's commitment to getting to the bottom of the matter by using all available means. There is a quote here. And then also Deputy Sanitation, Water Resources Minister and MP for Sisala East, Amidu Isahaku Chinai, has called for accountability regarding the funds committed to the project so far. And then Samuel Atachia is also adding his voice to that.
In terms of money spent, Ghana loses 264 million cedis annually to illegal plastic sales by free zones companies. This is a story on Citi Newsroom by Edna Agnes Boache. It says the Ghana Plastic Manufacturers Association has raised serious allegations against certain free zones companies, claiming that their illegal practices are causing significant revenue loss to the government. According to the association, approximately 12 of the 166 plastic manufacturing companies in Ghana are registered under Ghana Free Zones Enterprises. Now, these companies are allegedly importing plastic raw materials duty-free and then selling them illegally on the local market, thereby avoiding import duties. Now, the Plastic Manufacturers Association claims that this practice has led to government losing about 22 million cedis a month, amounting to 264 million cedis per year. President of the association, Ebo Bocho, in an interview with Citi News, expressed frustration over the lack of response from the authorities. And you know what's funny? So when these things are said, the authorities who are busy collecting tax, they need to come and tell us what's happening, because between the free zones and the GRA, we need to know if there's any investigation of this particular matter.
Okay, if you go to page 16 of the Daily Graphic, and it's on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, says NDPC unveils Vision 2057 Development Framework.
All right.
Now, a national development framework that reflects the development aspirations of citizens, from which future medium-term development plans will be derived, was launched in Accra yesterday, known as the Vision 2057 Long-Term National Development Perspective Framework. The document will, among other uses, serve as a guide and a reference point for the preparation of manifestos by all political parties to ensure that the long-term vision and goals for the development of the nation captured in the 1992 Constitution are not compromised. And the framework was jointly unveiled by the former chairman of the committee of experts that drafted the 92 Constitution, Nana Dr. Susubibi Krobi Asante, and the former Chief Justice, Justice Sophia Kufu, who were supported by other dignitaries at the...
Speaking of manifestos, there's a quick one. The flag of the NDC says his next government will scrap the provision of free fuel and other non-essential benefits to government officials if he's elected president in December. Speaking at a meeting with EU ambassador, the former president outlined cost-saving measures his administration would implement, including scrapping free DSTV subscription, utility bill payments, and fuel allowance to government officials to save the economy. Now, we are seeing a lot of these things. Both candidates, the leading candidates, have both promised that they can run the country with up to like around 50 or something ministers. Now, Mahama is promising that he will cut fuel. I think the rent issue too, they should deal with it.
Yes.
Let's all be pepper.
Yes.
Then we'll see how things work.
But Dr. Baumia is promising, he says he's committed to the RUPAL.
Okay.
Dr. Baumia, Vice President and standard bearer of the ruling governing New Patriotic Party NPP, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, has said he is committed to implementing the Representation of the People Amendment Actual Part. To this end, he revealed he will put in place the needed structures in order to guarantee its full implementation for it to benefit Ghanaians in the diaspora if elected. He stressed the importance of tapping into the human resources of diasporans for the development of the country if the act is implemented. And then he also
let me give you this story, which is pretty serious. Gun battle between police armed robbers in broad daylight, bank heist at Spintex. I'm reading from my Joy Online. It says a dramatic daylight robbery unfolded at the Pan African Savings and Loans located adjacent to FBN Bank on the Spintex Road in Accra. According to reports, 2 young armed robbers trailed someone carrying a bag full of cash to the bank. The robbers, who had reportedly been hovering around the top pharmacy opposite the bank, seized the opportunity to strike when they spotted their victim. Now, despite the intense exchange of gunfire between the robbers and the police, they managed to escape with the cash. Some people who witnessed the incident said there was a delay in police response, which may have contributed to the escape. Fortunately, no casualties were reported. Now, there's a video which is trending on X, which shows the exchange on the Spintex branch, and then still on that website, driver found dead after car submerges in floodwaters on the Accra-Tema motorway. And it says driver with Honda Fit, that's the car, right?
Fit,
with registration number GR125422, submerged near a bridge on the Accra-Tema motorway, found dead meters up from his car on Tuesday afternoon. The vehicle was retrieved after efforts by the fire service and the road safety authority and bystanders. Nana Minta Nano, the second in command at the Tema motorway fire station, told Joy News that the tragic incident occurred last Saturday during a downpour, but they were only notified around midday on Tuesday. A dispatch rider who witnessed the incident rushed to the station and informed us about the car being washed away by floodwaters into the drain of the bridge, less than 100 meters from New Tree Foods, he recounted.
That's a sad one.
Yeah, so I think when it's raining and visibility is poor, the best thing to do is to find an open place and park.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we need to observe all those safety rules.
Yeah. But just a very quick one. 260 learners of Adonai School escaped harm. This is in Mapa Adonai Preparatory School. They escaped harm when a rainstorm pulled down some of the school structures recently, disrupting teaching and learning. The school children, who are mainly orphans and therefore enjoy free tuition, now attend classes in a 10-bedroom house that belongs to the proprietor of the school, while others study under trees. So Mapa Adonai Preparatory School needs
Thank
urgent
you, Caleb.
attention.
Thank you, Nathan. It's 3 minutes to